everybody, it's Greg again from Heck Yeah, You Can Cook. And today, as part of my Cooking 101, we're going to make a quick salmon dish. Salmon intimidates a lot of people, but I get requests for it all the time on making a salmon dish. So this is a very simple salmon dish, something you can do on a weeknight. The biggest and hardest thing to do is thaw out the salmon if it's frozen. And I do find that you can get some really good deals on salmon that's frozen, and it's already kind of pre-cut, which makes it easier on you. While I got your attention, before I do that, everyone please like, share, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell. Love when we get more subscribers to the channel. You can find us also on Facebook group at Heck Yeah You Can Cook, and all the social medias in the same locations, and even on one of those .coms. Today's tools that you're going to need for this recipe. This is already pre-cut salmon, so I don't have a fillet knife, but if you do not have your fillet knife pre-cut, you're going to need a fillet knife. I've got a chef's knife. I got a pair of tongs. I've got my large 12-inch skillet here with the lid. All right, that's very important. And I also have an extra plate that we're going to be setting some things down on as well. And that's about it. Along with your probe thermometer, because we want you to reach a nice temperature on the fish of 145. For the ingredients for this thing, I have got 2 pounds of, this is Alaskan sockeye salmon, already portioned, frozen. Now, like I said, the hardest thing is you got to be patient. You buy it at the store frozen, you put it in the refrigerator, let it thaw out. Then I usually set it out a couple hours before, then I make sure there's no ice on it. So it takes a while when it's really hard frozen for it to thaw all the way out. These have to be portioned, so if you want to use less than 2 pounds and just use a pound, I would just half the recipe and everything you see here. I've got 2 teaspoons, and this is one of my favorite seafood seasonings. This is salt, lemon, and chili. Sal, chile, and limon in Spanish. Doesn't get any simpler than that, folks. It's a very simple spice blend. Can't really portion out any better than what you see right here. So get it at your local tienda. I've not really seen it in grocery stores, but you probably can find it. But it's salt, lemon, and chili blend. It goes great with seafood like this. I've got 2 teaspoons of it. Got 1 bunch of Swiss chard. We're going to work with that in just a second. And 1 pretty large yellow squash. If you can't find a large one, use 2 small ones. And 1 sweet medallion onion. Any yellow onion will do. So before we go any started here, we're going to go ahead and make sure we have the onion chopped. Now, I usually don't show myself chopping the onions, but in this case, I want to make sure you see, I like to have bigger pieces with the salmon. I like to add flavor and texture. So just cut it in half. Get rid of that outside skin. And sweet medallions, if you turn them over, they already kind of are peeling in layers. What I like to do is kind of slice down at an angle. And they will fall apart into those slices as you're cooking, as you're slicing actually. You see, you slice down at this kind of a sharp angle. And what it's going to do is, as it cooks, it'll break apart. It just adds a nice little texture and color to the salmon. Now with the squash, ends off. This is my quick medallion cut. Make a medallion, a circle I should say, 1 medallion. Cut it in half, cut it in half again. Bada bing, bada bang, bada boom, 4 pieces, 4 quarters. Half, half again. Do that till you get it finished. Now before we go any further, I may have not mentioned this, you want the skin on salmon. Like skin on, seems to cook a little better, so you want the skin on salmon. Take your frying pan at this time and go ahead and preheat it on medium-low heat. Not medium, somewhere between medium and low. Usually I set mine on number 3. Now once we've got the onions and the squash ready, you take the stem of the Swiss chard off. This is beautiful. These are just add so much color. Love cooking with Swiss chard. Some grocery stores call it red chard. Come across, just like that. You're going to have pieces like this. This will shrink down as it cooks. If you want it to be a little smaller, there is no harm in cutting it across again, which I will do with some of the larger leaves up here. Notice I leave that big stem in. It does cook down. It does add nice texture to the cooking. Set that on your plate to the side. Now you can get your Swiss chard prepared. What I like to do here with the salmon is I just lightly season the top. Don't have to do the skin on side. And we're going to let that seasoning work in just a little bit while we're doing the rest of the vegetables before we actually add this in to season. Now this is not a heavy seasoning, but you can go heavier if you like. We're going to move over to the stove top now. We're going to show us cooking on the stove. We've got our pan preheating. We'll have our grapeseed oil added to it and begin the process of cooking. Thanks, everyone. Okay, everyone, we preheated our pan here. Now I'm going to add a count or a tablespoon grapeseed oil. Now we're going to add our onions and our zucchini. We're going to stir that up. And we're going to cook till it softens in about 3 minutes. You're going to be stirring frequently. As you're stirring, break apart the onions. As you see, they're falling apart into the slices I talked to you about. Now that we've gotten that to cook down for about 3 or 3.5 minutes, we take the salmon. What I like to do is kind of make a space, take your piece, set it right on the cook stop, skin side up, move the onions and vegetables on top, make another space, add the salmon, vegetables on top, and you're going to guess it, you're going to repeat till you get all the salmon in the pan. Try to work that salmon down onto the surface. Now that we've got all the salmon worked in, I turn the heat up to medium, 5, maybe 6, and we're going to let that cook for about 3 minutes. Kind of important to set a timer on this one. While that's simmering, I add just a pinch. We'll have a little bit left over of this chili sauce around on the vegetables. It's real important that you don't stir here. All right, 3 minutes have gone by. We're going to try to remember which one you turn on first. Work that salmon back over. This time skin side down. Some of it may flake, and that's fine. Move some of the vegetables back on top. Now we're going to add the Swiss chard right to the top of the dish. We're going to sprinkle the rest of the lime chili. Remember, I had 2 teaspoons of this. If you don't use it all, that is fine. Add a little bit of flavoring of that to the leaves. We're going to reduce the heat down to medium-low. I would say low-medium, a better way to say it. Number 2, maybe. So we've seared that side. We've turned it. Now we're just going to let it cook for 5 minutes. As it's finishing up, get your handy temperature probe ready. We're looking for 145%. Okay, everybody, 3 minutes have gone by. See how the Swiss chard is cooked down. Soften that nicely. We're going to test a piece here. There it is, 145. Our salmon is cooked. What I like to do now is I like to take the salmon off. See how pretty that is? Put it up. pull the salmon off. We're going to set that aside. Mix the vegetables back in together. See how the chard is welted down. Such a vibrant plate. I will show it plated. It's your plate, of course. I like to take and make a little bed with this Swiss chard. All right, come on, join the party. Take your salmon, nestle that on. Just put a little bit of the there you go, everybody. Nice and plated. We'll show a picture of this with the lentils as a complete meal. Everyone have a great day. There's my simple salmon. Hope everyone enjoyed.